working on the Jung household today. Spoiler alert, the house that I'm building now definitely got lost. Just don't see my microphone's all crazy, because of course it is. Maybe, potentially? I don't know. It is what it is. But yeah, this house actually was lost because as soon as I went to save my game, crashed. Like it normally does, but that's okay. My main inspiration for the build was actually Bridgerton. I binge watched the second season and I decided that for their townhouse, I wanted to base it off the Bridgerton's townhouse, which I believe is called the Ranger's house. It's like an old brick building, but it's got like these little round bits, and it's very interesting. I just wanted to do the brick part because I wanted Methuselah to have a bit of a different house than the rest of the nobility in town. Because not only is he a new duke, but obviously if there was a war, a lot of the buildings probably were destroyed. But there were red brick buildings in the original Adiran, so those materials would have been available for use, and Arndt Blumenthal, wanting to distance himself from anything Kenton related, would not want any of the brick. But Methuselah is a little bit more practical, and it's not going to be held against him if he decided to use the bricks. So it made sense that he would have a house made of brick as well. Methuselah is an interesting sim. The whole Jung family is very interesting to begin with. That they were... I pronounce it Felici. I don't know how that's... like if that's how it actually is meant to be pronounced, but that's how I pronounce it, and this is a fantasy world, so we're gonna go with that. She was the original bee mom. They were indentured, and she just had a bunch of bees. It was also the first time that I really decorated a lot, like tried to do landscaping, and I was very proud of myself for that. Because I had the bees and the flowers, and then some of the bushes that I used, like, generated butterflies. I was very happy with a lot, but yeah, she had quite a few kids. Or not quite a few, I guess 3. But, you know, they were indentured. That was going to be the life, and she didn't really care about it. She was a very hands-on type of person. But Methuselah really was bothered by their position in life. He didn't think it was fair. He was good friends with Arndt Blumenthal, who was also indentured. And that led to a lot of conflict. I can't remember off the top of my head which nobleman he got into a fight with, but he did get into a fight with noblemen, which is not acceptable. And that completely changed their family's status. Before that, you know, they were indentured, but like, they weren't singled out for anything, and you can still have a pretty good life. Like, Adiran wasn't like, if you're indentured, your life is horrible forever. You still could have had a decent life. In particular, his sister Hela thought that she might have been able to join some kind of religious order and continue to learn and grow her knowledge. It's possible that could have happened, but the second that he got in a fight with the nobleman, all bets are off. So not only was he punished and the family fined, and like just generally kind of put through hell, then Hela went from potentially living out her dream to, oh no, now you have an arranged marriage with someone you don't know. Cool, have fun. Which arranged marriages did happen in Adiran, and they still do. That's just part of the world building that exists, but for her that was really devastating and really enraging as well. She actually went... I think I ended up giving her a romance secondary after that point, because it was the closest I could get to like, oh, well, my life is ruined, I can't live the way that I want to, I'm gonna be awful now. And yeah, and so when the time came for there to be a war, Methuselah was right on board and was rewarded handsomely with that. He is one of the premier noblemen in Adiran. He is the highest ranking noble, period. He is a duke. There are several other dukes, but he is the highest ranking of the dukes because he's best friends with Arndt. They've known each other a really long time, and they come from the same background. They share a lot of different ideals. It makes sense that, yeah, what Methuselah says kind of goes. Their family composition now is Methuselah, his second wife Oda, his first wife Dior, was a townie who actually died in childbirth, giving birth to their son Ishvi. Oda is very interesting. She has some fun traits, like rebellious and evil, so interesting lady. Beautiful dress, so acceptable that she's a little bit unique. And then she and Methuselah have twin sons, Abasai and Micah. And then also living with the family is Methuselah's sister Hela, the one that was forced to marry Scotty Snow, and her daughter Leah. Now, Hela's position's a little bit odd, just because she was freed by the end of the war just by association kind of thing, but she's not considered part of the noble class. But she's not indentured either. She's just kind of... I have her ranked as gentry because she is part of a noble family. She's just not a high... She shouldn't really be. It's just the association that got her there. So there's a potential for her to marry well if that's what she chooses to do. Or she could continue on the path trying to join some sort of religious order. She's also a bit of a poisoner now, so she could continue on that path. Like, we don't know what she's going to choose to do with her life. Which is why I think the composition of the household is interesting, is you have someone like Hela and someone like Oda in the same house, and they're not necessarily, just because Oda's evil doesn't mean she's, like, malicious or bad. Like, for her, evil very much is she just wants to win and be the best, and she's not like a puppy kicker kind of evil. She's a schemy kind of evil. Which is also why I don't worry too much about Ishvi, because even though he is her stepson, she has made sure that he grew up idolizing her, so say something happens to Methuselah, well, Oda's gonna be in charge. Ishvi might have the title, but he's still gonna be in charge. And if Ishvi dies for some reason, well, she has two sons of her own. Like, she's not too fussed about who ends up being the one to get the title, because to her it doesn't really matter. She has the real power kind of thing. Which is so funny. She's such a pretty, soft-looking sim, and she's got, like, the sleeves, and I'm taking a couple screenshots of her. She's been on the welcome wagon, and I'm just like, yeah, no. She is 100% evil, and just very sneaky. And then in the same household, you have little Lee, who's like, or Leah. Leah, yeah. She's Scotty Snow's daughter, and she's just like the saddest looking sim, and she's just so nice and soft, and she's got a lot of traits that make me think she's not going to live very long, like weak constitution, but yeah, you have that sim in this household. I'm like, oof. She probably is just straight up not having a good time, because she's observant, so she knows what's happening. It's just, she doesn't have a backbone. She's not going to be able to stop any of it. She's probably just going, oh, God, please just don't involve me. She's very cute, though. And yeah, that's this family. I did play their round already. I'm a little bit behind in my goals. I wanted to be able to play this family, and the Raymond family is related to this one. It's Methuselah's younger sister, Sela. But I had a wedding. I've been sick as a dog. I continue to be sick, because of course I am. And it didn't happen. But I'm gonna try to play a lot more households this month so I can keep up with my goal of finishing one round of Adiran this year. Doesn't seem like much until you realize how big Adiran is. And it's gonna go quicker once all the houses are actually built. Like, I'm not gonna be building and decorating and setting up the Sims and then playing. Like, it'll just be, oh, I'm on this person's round now, I can play their household. I had a lot of fun with this garden. I was really annoyed at first that it was offset, which was the only happy thing about losing the entire lot, was I can make sure the garden was not offset in the second build of this that I did, because that was upsetting. That was upsetting, and I couldn't really fix it in the way I wanted to, but this is inspired by the house from Bridgerton and the gardens there. Like, it was like oval shaped, so this is a lot more square, but still pretty. Yeah, you can see it's off. Just drives me nuts. It drives me nuts in this video. And yeah, really it for the Adiran news. Nothing super fancy going on. Just trying to survive. I'm making pretty good progress on my ABC challenge, though. I was kind of worried that I was going to quit halfway through, because sometimes I get bored. I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore, but I need to build, which is part of why I created the challenge, but I also like to build, so it's good. That back door was uneven too, it was bothering me. And the rebuild of this house pretty much looks the same, it's just, I did some changes to the windows and things like that. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for following me. If you have, I can't believe I almost have 100 subscribers. I have 99, which is crazy to me because this is a very niche little hobby that I've got going on here, but I appreciate it. So if you enjoyed this video, definitely give it a like. I've got a ton more like it, and I'm going to keep making them. So yeah, I will see you guys in the next one.